I found this in the garage of my parents. It's a small metal tool with two rods crossing in the middle. Does anyone know what it is? This is a mechanical knife sharpener. It consists of a metal frame that holds two sharpening rods crossed at a fixed angle, usually made of tungsten carbide or ceramic. To use it, you just pull the knife blade through the center, and both sides of the edge get sharpened at the same time. Sharpeners like this became popular in the mid-20th century because they were simple, reliable, and easy to use, and this same basic design is still in use today. Unlike whetstones or electric sharpeners, they require no special skill and work for a wide variety of knives. I found a metal tube about 4 inches long, with what seems to be a plastic eyepiece at one end. What is this item? This object is a vintage selenium photographic exposure meter, widely used from the 1930s through the 1960s and commonly known as a light meter. These devices were essential tools for photographers before the advent of built-in camera metering systems. They measure the intensity of light in a scene to determine the optimal exposure settings. The eyepiece is used to aim the meter toward the subject or light source. Inside, a light-sensitive selenium cell detects the light level. Selenium cells are photovoltaic, meaning they generate a small electrical current when exposed to light. This current moves a needle on a scale, indicating how much light is present. However, selenium cells degrade over time, especially when exposed to light continuously. To extend their lifespan, it was common practice to keep the meter covered or stored in a case when not in use. I found this strange-looking item in a Mexican restaurant filled with old things. Does anyone know what it is? This item is a carbide lamp, a type of portable lighting device that was widely used in the early 20th century, especially by miners and cavers. It operates by combining calcium carbide with water to produce acetylene gas, which is then ignited to create a bright flame. Carbide lamps were introduced in the early 1900s and became popular due to their bright, steady light and relatively low operating cost. They were commonly used in mining operations, as well as for caving and camping. The lamp consists of 2 chambers. The upper chamber holds water, and the lower chamber contains calcium carbide. When water drips onto the carbide, it produces acetylene gas, which is then ignited at the burner to produce light. My great-grandma went on safari in Africa in the 80s and brought this back, which I recently inherited. Unfortunately, she's no longer around to give any other details on it. It's roughly a foot tall and feels like a mix between wood and metal. My mom said it came from a cannibal tribe. What is this thing? This object is a tokoloshe figurine, a representation of a mythical creature from southern African folklore. The tokoloshe was described as a small, mischievous, and malevolent spirit that could become invisible by drinking water or swallowing a stone. It was believed to be summoned by malevolent individuals to cause trouble, illness, or even death. In traditional beliefs, the tokoloshe was associated with witchcraft and was often blamed for unexplained misfortunes. To protect themselves, people would raise their beds off the ground, as the tokoloshe was thought to be unable to climb. If someone wanted to drive the tokoloshe out of the home, they would turn to spiritual leaders or traditional healers, known as sangomas, who would perform a ritual of banishment. Found this in a friend's kitchen. It's a metal tool with a long handle, a sliding ball on top, and a cup-shaped end. The ball can slide up and down. We have no idea what it's for. Does anyone know what this is? What you've found is a German egg topper, a kitchen tool designed to neatly remove the top of a soft or hard-boiled egg. Its full name in German is
Eierschalensollbruchstellenverursacher,
which roughly translates to eggshell predetermined breaking point creator. To use it, you place the cup-shaped end over the top of the egg, lift the sliding ball up the handle, then release it. The ball drops and creates a vibration that cracks the shell in a clean circle. You can then simply lift off the top of the egg. When I was at a bar in Amsterdam, the guy sitting across from me kept flicking this little thing, and it made a loud sound. It fit in the palm of his hand and looked like it was made of metal. What is this item? This item is a Jew's harp. It's a small, handheld musical instrument that produces sound through the vibration of a flexible metal tongue mounted on a frame. When the player flicks the tongue, it vibrates, and the mouth cavity acts as a resonator, amplifying the sound and allowing the pitch and tone to be shaped by the movement of the lips and breath. Despite the name, the Jew's harp has no connection to Jewish culture. The origin of the term is unclear, but many believe it's a linguistic distortion of jaw harp. The instrument is ancient, with origins dating back over 4,000 years to Asia. In the 18th century, the Jew's harp became fashionable in European courts. Its popularity continued into the 19th and early 20th centuries, with several designs receiving patents, such as an 1885 United States patent by John Mahel for an improved version of the mouth harp. I found this carved wooden object at my friend's house. It has a diamond-shaped head and a short handle, and looks like it was made from a single piece of wood. Does anyone know what this is? What you found is a traditional war club known as a supi, originally from Malaita Island in the Solomon Islands. One of its most recognizable features is the diamond-shaped head. These clubs were typically carved from dense tropical hardwoods such as ironwood, making them both durable and effective. While the supi was originally designed as a close combat weapon, over time it took on a deeper ceremonial role. Finely crafted versions, often featuring coconut fiber wrapped around the handle for grip, were used in rituals or as symbols of status. Some handles were inlaid with shells or decorated with intricate carvings, including stylized crocodile faces, which indicated that the weapon belonged to a tribal chief. Found this heavy metal tool at a thrift store. It has a lever mechanism, a flat base, and a vertical post with an arm that moves up and down. Any idea what it is? What you found is an early stapling device, patented in 1883 under the name machine for inserting and clinching staples. It was designed for use in bookbinding, paper assembly, or light industrial packaging. The tool worked by pressing a staple through paper or similar material and bending the legs inward to secure the sheets. The patent was later declared invalid in 1894. A federal court ruled that the design changes, such as modifying the guide slots to allow staples to be inserted in different orientations, did not constitute a true invention. Despite the patent being annulled, the Philadelphia Novelty Manufacturing Company, which originally held the rights, continued to successfully produce and sell the staplers. Found this on my boyfriend's desk. It's a small metal bar, about 2 inches long, with decorative ends and no obvious function. He said his mom just handed it to him one day, but neither of us knows what it's for. Does anyone know what this is? What you found is a collar bar, a classic men's fashion accessory that connects the two sides of a dress shirt collar. It's typically worn with a tie and serves both a functional and decorative purpose. The bar holds the collar points in place and lifts the tie knot slightly, creating a clean, elevated look. Collar bars became especially popular in the 1920s and 1930s and have remained a subtle symbol of sharp, traditional style ever since. They come in different forms. Some are straight pins, others have screws or clips at the ends. I came across this ornate silver item marked Mappin Brothers. It features a decorative clasp with several chains hanging from it. The design appears Victorian. This item is a sterling silver chatelaine made by the British silversmiths Mappin Brothers sometime in the late 19th century. A chatelaine was a decorative clasp worn at the waist from which several chains hung, each holding a small household item such as scissors, sewing needles, a thimble, a vinaigrette, a pencil, or a watch. Mappin Brothers was a well-known silversmith firm based in London and Sheffield. It was active throughout the 19th century and later merged into Mappin & Webb in the early 1900s. Its silverwork was widely recognized for its quality and craftsmanship, and its chatelaines were often ornate. I found this decorative-looking sphere, and I'm not sure what it is. It's covered in engraved lines and markings. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a celestial globe, a model of the sky that shows the positions of stars and constellations as they appear from Earth. Unlike a regular globe that represents the surface of our planet, a celestial globe maps the night sky onto a sphere. Its surface is marked with stars, constellation figures, and coordinate lines such as the celestial equator and the ecliptic. Celestial globes have existed for many centuries and were used in both astronomy and education. The earliest known examples date back to ancient Greece, but they became especially widespread in Europe during the Renaissance. At that time, many of them featured detailed engravings and were mounted on rotating stands. They were valued not only as scientific instruments, but also as works of art. Spotted this odd-looking object at my local symphony. It was sitting on the floor near the brass section and went untouched for most of that performance. It's cone-shaped, pretty large, and looks like it might fit inside a brass instrument. Any idea what this is? What you saw is a tuba mute, a cone-shaped device used to alter the sound of a tuba. Just like mutes for trumpets or trombones, a tuba mute fits into the bell of the instrument and changes its tone. Depending on the material, usually aluminum, fiber, or wood, the mute can soften the sound, make it more nasal or focused, or give it a unique timbre required by the music. Tuba mutes are most often used in orchestral music, especially in modern and contemporary compositions where composers ask for subtle changes in tone or texture. Because of their size, they can be bulky and awkward to move during a performance, so players often place them nearby and only use them for specific passages. My cousin got this odd-looking item at an estate sale in Michigan. It's small, made of wood, with two curved metal arms and an old leather strap. We're not sure what it was used for. Does anyone know what this is? What your cousin bought is a vintage tabletop match holder. These items were often handmade or produced in small batches. The curved metal arms on top were meant to hold a rough surface stone that could be used to strike matches. Found this at a thrift store. It's a small metal container with a handle and a hinged lid, made of aluminum with floral patterns stamped into the surface. Any idea what this is? What you found is called a silent butler, a small lidded pan traditionally used to collect crumbs, ashes, or small bits of trash from tables and other surfaces. Silent butlers became especially popular in the United States during the mid-20th century and were often made from aluminum, brass, or silver plate. This one appears to be from Everlast Metal Products, a California-based company known for its aluminum kitchenware and decorative embossed patterns. These items were often given as housewarming or wedding gifts. In the last video, I asked you to guess what this strange object might be used for. Everyone had great guesses, and many of you got it right. This item is a fly-repelling fan. It's used to keep flies and other insects away from food. Thank you to everyone who participated and shared your guesses. A special shout out to Robert Redland for being the first to correctly identify it. That's the 5th time he's been the first to guess correctly. All right, it's time for another mystery item. Take a look at this wooden tool that looks like an oversized spring-loaded clothespin. What do you think it might have been used for? Leave your guesses in the comments, and I'll reveal the answer in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Your support motivates me to create more videos. See you next time.